Hey everybody, welcome to our VeVeVerse Showcase Q&A session. And this is in response to, of course, our videos that we had in the community that you have, so graciously given us your feedback. We, of course, have Dan Crothers, our co-founder and COO, and of course, Ben Rose, our co-CEO, here to help answer some of those questions today. Thank you guys for joining us today. I know this is an exciting time for our community. I'm going to jump right into the community questions and let you guys get right at it. The first question we have is actually from OBL. She posted right here, and her question actually is for Dan right here. Will the VeVeVerse be available on standalone headsets?
The headsets are absolutely a great idea. Day one, they won't be available on headset, but really open to everyone's feedback, see how much demand and interest we get, and then we can go from there.
Oh, that's awesome for sure. Well, stay tuned for more announcements on that. Now, Ben, for you, we have Slunk 007, and that community member there, we all know them well. Is Q1 rollout, is that for all users, or are we going to do this in stages?
Yep, though it is for all users. Whenever you deploy a new thing, it doesn't just go live instantly, so it will happen gradually. But yeah, absolutely, that's the plan. Have it live for everybody in Q1.
Doc of Stuff is up next. Thanks, Doc of Stuff. You know him as a YouTube channel and as a content creator. And so Dan, he's asked us how many people can be in a showroom at one given time.
When we roll out day one, we're going to allow around 30 people in a showroom at a time. And then as we assess the performance, the complexity of the space, etc., we can look to increase that number. But day one, 30 people.
Sounds like a party. Next up is from Chris Severs. You know Chris Severs very well, another content creator, and of course writes those amazing blogs. He's asking right here for you, Ben, can mint numbers be displayed on our collectibles and comics? He is a mint hunter specialist for comic books, so I know that he's really interested in that.
Yeah, sure. So Chris, and you've asked me this a couple of times, I think. So look, the answer is on day one, no. On day one, the plan is to launch it MVP as it is. What you will find is a feedback loop to give us your feedback on exactly what you want to see done differently. So in just the same way that as on our web app, comics and collectibles, there's a button in the bottom right-hand side that says feedback. That goes straight to our product team for consideration. That's how we're going to be operating with the VeVeVerse. So we're going to go live. We're going to get feedback from people, what they'd like to see done differently. That's an example. And we're also going to look at user behavior and see what people are really engaging with as well. So day one, no. In the future, possibly. Please give us your feedback and let's have a look at it.
Sounds great. Now, we have another question from the general public right here from all of our community and specifically from Legendary Leads. But a lot of people ask this question. Are we going to be able to read the comics in the VeVeVerse right away? This is for Dan.
Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Right. On day one, the focus is going to be setting up your comic book covers in the VeVeVerse. So you'll be able to display them on walls, set up shelves, create your own comic book store if you want to. But the actual reading experience, we're really taking that, to heart. We want to make sure that the reading experience is very good. And that's why the majority of the focus around reading is in our VeVe Comics reader app. So day one, no, but as Ben says, there is going to be a feedback loop. We'll see how many people are interested in it. And then we can work out, what the sort of the technical effort is for us to be able to do that.
Wubba Wubba asks, Dan, we know Wubba Wubba, can we play music in the VeVeVerse? I think they wanted to have a party here is kind of what they're thinking.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the best place for a party, right? With 30 people. So very similar to our existing showroom, if you own, like, for example, the Ron English Jukebox and Ron English Records, yes, you will be able to play that music from day one as you will be able to do right now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Now, back to you, Ben. Spatty, as we know, is asking about the beta testers that we actually have. We have another question for them coming up a little bit later here. But they're asking about the NDAs and if they're going to be lifted soon. Will they be able to share their vaults and everything?
Yeah, so look, the answer is yes. We're working through the timings and how we roll that out at the moment. So we obviously have now revealed what the VeVeVerse is going to look like on day one. Between now and the launch itself, what we want to do is we want to share some of those amazing creations that the beta testers have put together in the VeVeVerse. And so we're just working through a bit of a plan to make sure we've got all our ducks in a row and we do that well. But yeah, absolutely, that's certainly coming.
That's great right here. And back to you, Dan. Will there be available on mobile? Like, will the VeVeVerse be able to be used on your phone and log in and look around.
Absolutely. VeVe is something like 87% mobile, so that really is our key focus. So we're doing a lot of hard work on the mobile experience right now. We want to make sure that it's obviously accessible across the majority of devices out there, has enough functionality to be really fun. There will be some differences between the desktop and the mobile version. Obviously, desktop computing has a lot more power. But to answer your question, absolutely, we'll be on mobile.
That's great. This is another general question right here for Ben right here. Will there be a VeVe City with purchasable lands and properties, etc.? This question has come in from a lot of different users in different ways, but that's the general sense of it.
Yeah, so look, straight answer is on day one, no. On day one, as we've said, it's going to be, think of it as a series of microverses. You're going to have your space, other people are going to have their spaces, and you can go into each other's and interact. So it's a place for people to come together in those spaces. So that's what it's going to look like on day one. If there are other things that people want to see, as I've said, the approach we're taking with this, and it's an approach that we will be taking with a lot of our product enhancements and launches over in the future, is to launch, be really clear about what that looks like on day one, and then go to the community and say, what else would you like to see?
Will there be an outside to the vault, as been shown before? As I know that preview was inside and we saw all the beautiful stuff there. A lot of people have been asking about outside the vault.
Absolutely. Keep in mind that was a vault or a showroom that I built from scratch. There is actually a big outside area with trees and some of my cool sort of outdoor collectibles. So it actually really depends how people want to build. So in the advanced mode, absolutely yes, you can create outdoor, you can create indoor. In the more simple mode, where you'll have a series of sort of showrooms, they will also have an outside area. So absolutely, we want to see those Lambos, those Maseratis under the nice virtual sun.
That's amazing, for sure. Ben, right back to you right here. This is another general question. A lot of people have asked this one as well. Will there be a central hub that everyone could kind of go to and hang out in?
So that's not something we're going to have live on day one. There are lots of possibilities of what you could do with this and where you could go. So we're really wanting to look and see how people are using these spaces that exist. So are they going and visiting others? Are they going there in groups? Are they doing hangouts? Because if that's something that is a want and a need, then that's something we would have a look at. So look, on day one, no. But again, back to that feedback loop. If that's something that people want to see and it's something they feel it's missing, tell us so, and we can have a think about it.
That sounds great. This question is for the both of you, and this is one of our last questions right here. This is going back to the beta testers that have been in there creating amazing stuff. Will they be able to show off their creations?
Yes, they will. Once the NDA is lifted, and obviously we need to do a little bit of review of some of those spaces. But ideally, we really want the beta testers to be able to share what they've done, because some of the content, the worlds that they've created are absolutely amazing, and they put a lot of effort and hours into it. So if it was me, I would absolutely want to be able to show it off.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thanks so much, guys. That covers just a few of the questions that have come in, of course, from the community. We will be looking for more questions coming from you. And as Ben said, you can go to our website. Down in the bottom right corner, you fill out that feedback area there. Let us know what else you're thinking. And of course, on our announcements coming up. Stay tuned for even more announcements on our socials, and we'll see you in the next video.